Welcome back to another episode of The N.O.W Show. Today's episode is on young and successful entrepreneurs, and we have a very special guest here today. Some of you know him as Mr Yudala. Today on the show we have Prince Nnamdi Ekeh. So thank you very much for joining us.
Welcome.
How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. You've had a good morning?
Oh yes, I have.
Okay, great. So the name of our show is The N.O.W Show, the network of overcomers and winners. And the aim of the show is to inspire people to be the best possible versions of themselves and achieve what they want to achieve in life. So to you, who is an overcomer and a winner?
For me, an overcomer and a winner is someone willing to do whatever it takes to get things done. Okay. Life would always throw things at you, knock you down.
Yep, that's true.
But for you to be successful in whatever you do, regardless, you have to buckle up and keep it going. You learn from your failures and keep going.
Definitely, it's all about picking yourself back up.
Correct.
So that being said, would you describe yourself as an overcomer and a winner?
I feel that would be blowing my own horn, but I do my best. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
That's good. So tell us a bit more about yourself. Who is Prince Nnamdi Ekeh?
Good question. I'm someone who looks at life from an angle where I want to create something. Okay. Growing up, I've always been the person who's come up with business ideas, who wants to sell something. I've always been selling from as young as secondary school. I used to sell bootleg Fruityloops. Fruityloops CD. They use it for music production.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I used to sell it. I actually sold one to Davido back then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I used to do that. So I'm someone that has a passion for selling. And a passion for creating ideas. Okay. I mean, when I was in university, that's when I came up with my first business idea. Okay. And since then, just been going.
Yeah, so I read that you came up with Yudala, the idea behind Yudala, when you were 19 in university. Yes. And prior to that, you and your cousin had started a food delivery company called Belleful.
Yes.
So have you always had that entrepreneurial mindset?
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Growing up, I always knew that I wanted to run a business.
Okay.
I never applied for 9 to 5
full-time jobs.
Yes. I always saw myself as a businessman.
Yeah.
And I guess it's coming from my family background. My parents are businessmen, are business people. My uncles, same thing.
Yeah.
So I always had that mindset that I want to create something when I graduate from university.
Definitely. So I know you studied economics and politics at university.
Yeah,
that's what I studied as well, by the
way.
Interesting.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So like you said, most people go down that 9 to 5 route.
Yes.
So do you think that being an entrepreneur is harder than having a 9 to 5?
I don't necessarily think anyone is easier or harder.
Okay.
It's just two different parts.
Okay.
When you do a 9 to 5, you can face challenges that you face as an entrepreneur.
That's true.
It works both ways, but the only thing is that I feel certain traits are needed to be an entrepreneur.
Oh, really?
And the most important one is being able to accept failure. As an entrepreneur, you fail every day.
Yeah.
Every blessed day, every minute you're failing.
Definitely.
You're doing something wrong, you're learning. But the most important thing is that you learn from those failures and you better yourself.
Exactly.
So you make sure you don't make those same mistakes the next day.
So do you want to talk to us about one of your failures and kind of how you learn from that? Not to put you on the spot or anything, not to set you off.
Okay, if I have to think back, when my company was launching, that's Yudala back then. Yes. When we were launching, on the day we were supposed to launch, we had an issue with technology. Okay. So there was a decision to be made. Either we go live and find a way around it, or we push the launch. Okay. I took a decision to launch that day.
Push the launch. Okay.
And guess what happened?
What happened?
We got too much traffic and the website crashed.
Oh no.
So that was a failure, and it taught me that as much as you want to go to market quickly, you need to be careful to make sure that at the end of the day the customer has the best experience. Once you affect that customer experience, then you destroy the brand.
Wow, that's really insightful. So you spoke about obviously the launch of Yudala. So do you want to tell us a bit about how Yudala evolved?
Okay, so Yudala started off so we created what you call an omni-channel platform, where you have physical retail stores and e-commerce platform. So when we just launched with 2 stores. Okay. in about 6-8 months, we were able to grow that to about 15 stores.
Wow.
The online platform was also growing.
Okay.
The only thing we saw was that we needed to launch a marketplace. So we had two decisions: either invest a lot of money in building a marketplace from scratch,
Okay.
or invest or acquire a company that already has a marketplace.
Okay.
And luckily, at that point, Konga already started discussions with us on potential partnerships.
Okay.
So that's how we took it to the next level. Decided to acquire Konga, then eventually merged the two brands.
So speaking on the merging of Yudala and Konga, so what was the main vision behind this, and do you think you've really been able to, or rather are achieving what you really set out to achieve with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because if you look at the strengths of Yudala and the strengths of Konga, they really complement each other.
Yeah.
Konga was very strong online. They had a very strong marketplace. Yudala was very strong in physical stores, a B2B business also, and logistics. So when you combine the two, you get a very powerful platform.
Yeah.
So since the merger, we're able to grow about 8 times.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So I read also that you're trying to have a Konga location in every local government in Nigeria.
Yes,
so
correct.
how's that going?
We're progressing steady, slowly and steady. But the idea behind that is that we want to get as close to the customer as possible. Unfortunately, e-commerce in Nigeria is not where it should be.
Yeah.
So you have to find a way around some of the problems we face in Nigerian e-commerce, and one of the major problems is trust. People just see an online platform; they don't see anybody behind that platform. There's no touch point. So we try to provide the customer with that touch point using our physical stores. So that's what brought up the idea of having a physical store in every local government.
So I know you mentioned trust is one of your challenges. So are there any other challenges or fears that you think that you're going to face or you're facing currently? Yeah,
we face a lot of, unfortunately, we face a lot of challenges in our line of business.
As in any line of business.
if you look at the most important factor for an e-commerce business is logistics. Unfortunately, Nigeria doesn't have a very structured or any very structured logistic platform that could do what we do. Because what we do is deliver to the doorstep, deliver to the last mile. So when we launched initially Yudala, we had to work very closely with some 3PL partners to try and build that competency within their system. But we found out that was very difficult. You're forcing the company to act in a different way. So we decided to launch our own logistics platform.
Wow.
Yes. So right now, Konga today controls 95% of our logistics.
Wow, that's really, really impressive. Yes. Wow, you actually achieved so much. So let's take it back a little bit to before you actually went to Yudala and you created Yudala. You're a young man, you finished university, you have this great idea. How were you able to convince your parents as well as other people in the industry that you were credible and that you actually had what it takes to be successful?
It's very difficult. Let me start there. It's very tough, especially as a young person coming out of university. Try to convince people not only to invest in you, but trust you to run a business. And also at that scale. But at the end of the day, it boils down to proving the business model. At that point, you had two players in the e-commerce market. There was a wide vacuum of space available in that market. And Yudala was coming in with something different. We came on with the physical stores and the online. Because we believe, like I said before, that it's important to have a touch point for customers, especially in a market like Nigeria. So at the end of the day, you have to be very aggressive. You have to go through a lot of hurdles, a lot of fights.
Definitely.
You can't just have one meeting and expect everything to be rosy from there. Yes. You have to keep pushing, you have to keep fighting, talk to different people. Also spend a lot of time learning.
That's true.
That's very critical.
That's true. That's true. Learning is definitely very important. So speaking about learning, let's stretch this question a bit. So tell us a bit about your educational background. Where did you go to school?
Okay. I went to the University of Lancaster in the UK. I graduated with in economics and politics. After that, I moved back to Nigeria. I was supposed to do a master's, but because of my hunger for starting a business, I decided to push that back. But I also realized the importance of continuing to learn. So I've enrolled in several courses. I did an international business and logistics course in Harvard University. I did a senior management program in Lagos Business School also.
So these are short courses?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So your father is the CEO of Xenox Technologies.
Yes.
I mean, you went to school overseas, like you've just said.
Yes.
So do you think that coming from, people call it a privileged background.
Yes.
So coming from a privileged background actually gave you an advantage in becoming successful?
Oh, definitely, 100%. It gave me an advantage.
Okay.
Would I say that's the reason for success? Definitely not.
Okay.
But it definitely gives you an advantage in, first of all, the network of people you have.
Okay.
It also gives you an advantage in terms of the knowledge you're able to pull from,
different people.
From different people.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, whether or not you have that platform, it depends on how far you're willing to go.
Yes.
To be successful.
Because there's so many people from so-called privileged backgrounds that are okay with like living average lives.
Yes.
So to me, I believe that being successful is all about your drive.
Yes.
So having a privileged background without any drive to be successful will only leave you being average. So it's definitely important to have that drive.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm sure you have that drive.
and funny enough, sometimes being privileged works against you. Because you come for a meeting, people are like, that's the son of this man.
This person, yeah.
Why does he need my investments? Why does he need my help? That sort of thing, yes.
So that's where credibility comes into it as well.
Definitely.
So being credible and making that name for yourself, aside, your father and everything that.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head, making that name for yourself. Because at the end of the day, your family has their own name. You have to build something on your own.
Exactly. So you have Mr. Yudala. So you've done very well. You're a co-CEO of a successful company. You were nominated for the Future Awards Africa, and you won the Entrepreneurial of the Year a few years ago.
Yes.
So how have you been able to remain humble?
I think it boils down to the background.
Okay.
But as an entrepreneur, or as a CEO, as a leader, humility is very important. Because at the end of the day, you're leading people. Konga has over 500 staff today, and every single one of them relies on me to make sure I'm making the right decisions to move the business forward. So humility is something that's very important to me. It's something that's very important to my family. Yes.
Okay, definitely. So humility is one of the key characteristics of a good leader and a good entrepreneur.
Definitely.
So can you tell us a bit more about any other characteristics that you believe that a good entrepreneur should have?
I mentioned one earlier, the ability to deal with failure. Now, for me, that one is really critical. It's also important to listen. Because if you're a leader, you trust certain roles or certain people.
Exactly.
And you need to be able to take feedback from those people, and take actions.
Okay.
I'm not saying you action everything they say, but you need to listen, ingest the information, and then take decisions from there.
Yes. Okay, that's great. So what advice do you have for other people who want to start a business and become the best possible versions of themselves?
Okay, the first advice I'll have is don't take for granted anyone you meet. You always have scenarios where you meet someone, you never expect anything from them, and then 2 months down the line, they're basically saving your business. So don't take for granted anyone you meet, no matter how small, whether it's a gate man or another CEO. You treat everybody with respect. The second advice I have is to listen and take feedback, especially when you're a young entrepreneur, when you're a young person, growing up, you're learning. At the end of the day, what you're doing is learning. Every day is a learning experience. So take feedback, both positive and negative, and don't react aggressively to negative feedback. For me, negative feedback is very important. I tell my staff, if I'm doing something wrong, tell me I'm doing something wrong. Call me out. Because that's the only way I can learn. And I'll do the same for you. If you're doing something wrong, I'll call you out. So creating that kind of environment, it helps everyone grow and helps the company grow better.
Definitely, because sometimes people are scared to give their superiors feedback.
Definitely.
So it's definitely good that you have that kind of working environment where even people below you are able to give you feedback and call you out and things like that. So you spoke about learning. So let's talk about making decisions.
Sure.
So have you ever been in the middle of a big decision and you just didn't know what to do or how to make that decision?
Yeah, I mean, so many times. At least once a week, you have to make a decision that you're not sure of. And at the end of the day, it boils down to your mindset. You need to be able to pull back from all the madness, relax, and make sure you're taking a decision that is best for either your customers or for your business. And you will not always be right. If you think that every decision you make is going to be right, that's a lie. You're going to make wrong decisions.
Definitely.
But you need to be able to monitor and make sure that you correct any wrong decision you make very quickly.
Definitely.
Yes,
Okay.
it's very critical.
Okay, great. Thank you. So that's the serious part of the interview. So now on to some more personal things. So obviously you have a very, very busy schedule. You run a huge company. So how do you actually balance your schedule with like having time for yourself? Like, are you a social person? Do you go out? Do you have a girlfriend? So what do you do?
Would I say I'm an introvert?
Okay.
But it's important for me that I find time to hang out with friends, to cool off.
Okay.
My hobby is really, I don't really have much hobbies, but maybe reading, I play basketball, go to the gym, hang out with my friends for drinks. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing really complex.
Okay.
Yes. And about question about girlfriend. I knew you go back to that one. For that, I don't have a girlfriend. I think Konga is my girlfriend.
Okay, that's good. So you said you're reading. So what are you reading at the moment? Do you have any books to recommend to our viewers?
There's a book I'm reading, very interesting book, called How to Be a Drug Lord.
We don't want our viewers to be drug lords.
Very controversial.
Yeah.
But the book is teaching me a lot of things.
Okay.
If you look at drug lords, not to glorify drugs or anything.
We do not condone it. We do not condone it.
But they run a very complex business. The supply chain, there's implicit marketing, because you can't be explicit with your marketing if you're a drug person. So you have to use people to market your products. There's a whole supply chain logistics arm of it that's so complicated. So this book basically looks at the network of drug lords and how they run their businesses, and advises you what you can pick from them. I'm not telling anybody to go and become a drug lord.
Don't be a drug lord.
Yes. But it's a very interesting book, and it really pushes your brain, because it looks at things from a whole different angle. Yes.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay. So finally, what can we expect from Prince Nnamdi Ekeh in the future?
I don't like to live in the future. I prefer to live in the present. But
okay.
But I live every day. When I wake up in the morning, I pray that I end the day a better person than I was when I started it. So I try and live as much in the present and better myself in the present. But I think the future holds a lot. Konga is a company that the revenue in 10 years could be 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. Nobody knows. Because like my father calls it, it's a miracle business.
That's really nice.
It's high growth rates, very aggressive, and the success of the company is also hinged on certain things in the economy, internet penetration rates, stuff like that. So economic growth also. So at the end of the day, I'm very optimistic. I think there are a lot of opportunities in Nigeria. I have no fear about international companies coming into the country, new players coming into the market, because at the end of the day, I love competition. Competition pushes you. It pushes you to the wall, and make sure you're always thinking, you're always innovative. Steve Jobs said something. He said, to be innovative, you need to constantly rethink the way you think and kickstart your brain. So having people around you that are testing you helps you do that also.
Exactly.
Yes. So I think it's a huge space. Anyone who's looking at that space, look at it from the right angle. It's very tough. A lot of people look at online businesses like this piece of cake, just upload something online,
so
and that's the magic.
But it's definitely not.
If you're going to go into this kind of space, you need to understand it end to end. Understand warehousing, understand logistics, understand supply chain, understand marketing, everything end to end. I mean, starting the business, I had to look at every single department, from finance to audits to warehousing to logistics, and understand everything from the scratch. Because as a leader of the business, you need to understand every single point to make the right decisions.
Wow, that has been very, very insightful. So you mentioned that when you wake up, you pray.
Yes.
So can you talk to us about how the God factor has played in all of this?
I think spirituality is something very important to me. Regardless of your religion, regardless of where you're from, I think it's important to have that spiritual backbone. Because what it does is, regardless of what you do in life, things are going to knock you down. Things are going to make you feel like you're nothing. And if you don't have that spiritual backbone, sometimes you stray away.
Definitely.
Yeah, you take the wrong paths.
Definitely.
And at the end of the day, everything just ends up crashing down on you. So I think spirituality is something very important. Important to stay close to God, important to pray. So for me, anytime I'm feeling down, because you will feel down, things will hit you, people will betray you. So if you don't have that spiritual backbone, sometimes you get lost. And when you get lost, it's always difficult to find your way back.
Exactly.
Yeah, so spirituality is something very critical to me.
Definitely. Yes. Even when I'm having a bad day or a bad time, or I'm struggling, or sometimes I just feel like I want to cry. Yeah. It definitely helps to just say a prayer and just know that God always has my back.
Yes, correct.
So yeah, thank you, Nnamdi, for joining us today. It's been very, very insightful. I'm sure that hearing about your experiences has taught our audience a lot. So yeah, thank you very much, and we hope that you join us again sometime soon. Definitely. So yeah, once again, thank you for joining us on this episode of the Now Show on young and successful entrepreneurs. Until we come your way again, remember that you have what it takes to become an overcomer. Bye.
Life is a process. We go through different stages, but it's important that if you want to be successful, whatever you want to do, take that first step. Give it a try. No matter how small that first step is, take that first step. Because if you don't, then you'll never get there. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're doing a 9 to 5, it's the same thing applies. I always tell my staff, I don't want people who can die for me. I want people who can kill for me. Because at the end of the day, you need to have that aggression, that spirit, and that drive. If you don't have it, regardless of your background, where you come from, you will never be successful. Thank you very much.